Welcome to the Best Guy podcast. On here, we talk about personal development topics and self-improvement. So, if this is your first time listening, hi, I'm MR3. Today, we're going to talk about the culture shock. If you're listening, you probably noticed that I have videos starting to come out, and I have videos on TikTok that focus on male self-improvement. Why? Because if you look back just 10 years, you just have to look back 10 years ago and how the world has changed men. I mean in a bad way. We let the female dominate. I'm a Christian man. In the Bible, it talks about that the men are the household. I'm not saying that to be one of those guys that become where you are over dominating your wife. I'm not saying that. You got to show your wife some respect, but you got to learn to lead as men. Because some or a lot of men in this generation have started letting the females lead the family. What has happened is it causes more divorces, because why would she want to be with a man who can't even lead? It becomes unattracting to her. They call it the simp culture. I don't really use that word that much, so I don't get flagged for that. But guys want women to lead. I don't know if it's because of how they were raised. Maybe they had a single MOM. But as men, whether you're an uncle, a brother, a father, whatever it is, we got to learn to be the best role model for men. How can we do this? When they look at you, do they have respect for you? Do kids have respect for you? Does your daughters have respect for you? Does your sons have respect for you? Do your nieces and nephews have respect for you? If your answer is yes, awesome. Then if your answer is no, we can change that, because there is still time. But it has to start today, and it has to start right now. We can't wait any longer, because the world's getting worse with the whole feminist movement, where women are trying to control the world. And all you got to do is look at on TikTok and on here. I'm not saying the feminine women, good-hearted, loving. No, I'm not talking about those. There are many of those. I do not want to insult all women, because there are a lot of good ones. My mom, I have family that I know. I have friends that are good-hearted. So I'm not talking about them. Good Christian women that believe in the Word of God. Or if you're of another culture or religion, the ones that are meek, that will let you make your decisions. But I'm talking about the feminists. The one that say they don't need men. Because sometimes you look at some men I'll say guys, because men is a different word. But guys, and sometimes they don't give those female a reason to respect them. I'm not talking about you, because we're here to do a change in a good way. I don't want you to be hateful toward all women, like some of the content out there that says women deserve what's coming to them. I'm 50-50. I always say that because there are good women and there are some trying to destroy other people's relationships. They give other women bad advice. But the good-hearted women, Christian or whatever religion, or the old school minded women, usually tell them, no, you're single. Why are you giving me, a married woman, relationship advice when you don't even have one, or you had a divorce? But as men, we gotta focus on improving ourselves. That's in the church, that's in family, that's in the world. In YouTube videos, I'm going to talk about almost every aspect of a man's life. So if you're inspired, then join the culture shock. We will talk about fitness. We will talk about finances. We will talk about spirituality. You can relate all these things to your own lives because we're all different people, but we can all become champions. That's why in videos I will always wear a World Heavyweight Championship belt from back in the day, back in the 90s. If you remember the company called WCW, that's where it's from. It's the original replica version of that. It's not these new ones that came out in the 2000s. But we got to improve. We can't be lethargic, apathetic. We got to be on our purpose. We got to be what men were back in what they call the World War II generation. They were men who weren't persuaded by social media. Like I said, the SIMP culture, where guys pay more attention to their phones, or women on OF, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, FB, IG, and a lot of men will tell those women how beautiful they are. But those women don't care. They just want you to tell them that because you're just a person that is going to probably follow them, subscribe to them, whatever. But don't be an SIMP. Focus on your purpose. If you're married or have a girlfriend, why don't you tell her that instead of hiding your phone and going on social media and telling other women they look good? Tell your own girlfriend or wife. So, change the way your mind is. I will talk about these in a lot of videos because I hear many women talk about how their men are on their phone, on social media, and the women do find out, so they're not that dumb. So you gotta think ahead before you do something. Next, I gotta talk about health and fitness. You say you love your family. You don't have to look like a bodybuilder or people in the gym. Take care of your health so you can be with your family longer. So you're not burnt out when your kids want to play football or baseball or want to run with you. Or if you're a father, they have daughter daddy dances that they have, and you're not mentally or physically burnt out. Just running, doing push-ups, doing bicycle crunches, doing jump squats. These are a couple of things that you could do, and just do them in a circuit. But something simple like that, just to get your body moving. I do this thing for my back called the cat cows because I had a bad back. But you can do these things just to help improve your health. We gotta focus on all areas. There are a lot of women that say, my man came and paid for half the food. He asked me to borrow money. Work on your finances as well. There are great men that mentored me throughout my life. One is my dad. Two is one of my best friends. He's a pastor out in Montrose. And there's another one. He's been my pastor the last about 10 years or so. And these are great men that I learned from. They taught me discipline, mentally, spiritually, and financially. And these are men that I want to model myself after. That's why I'm talking about what I am talking about. They passed down great knowledge to me. A big one is faithfulness. That's the next one. How many men are faithful to their wives, their girlfriends, their families, their church, their work? One thing I noticed that in modern day, that most guys will leave their jobs for a better paying job. You might think that's good, but if they're only at one job for 3 months and they hear that they have another job, then they go up and do that job or go to that job. But we can't do that all the time. If you do that every 3 months, pretty soon there's not going to be any more good jobs out there. Then no one's going to want to hire you because you're not reliable. You're a flight risk. Then you see this in relationships as well. You see that men will just up and leave for the next woman. They get married. Some girl's swinging her tail at you, and you jump on it. Why don't you focus on being faithful? There's always going to be temptations. The devil tempted Jesus. So we're not going to be running away from temptation. We have to face temptation and get rid of it. So let's go all be men that the world can model themselves after. Men that women can look up and say, we're going to follow that guy. Faithful men. Reverent men. That's what I want, is a culture shock. I don't want to bash all women like some of the content out there on YouTube. Like, they call women 304s. If we're just focused on our own lives, focus on our own families, focus on our church or your religion, focus on only things that you can take care of and not really focus on too much on the world, because there are a lot of guys from TikTok that follow me. If we focus on ourselves and our lives and things that we can affect our country. And if this word gets spread out to the world, then we can affect the world. That's why I'm so grateful for social media and YouTube and TikTok, because I don't want to put trash out there that's going to bash women, because there's enough content out there that they bash us as men. They say we're unfaithful, and to a huge extent they're right, but we can change that culture. A lot of them say men are getting lazy, which is true. And that's why I want to change that. Change the culture that we're living in. Do a culture shock. And that's why I want to name this video #culture shock, so it can get out to the world. So if this is going to help you, I hope it does. I'm blind, but I'm going to always focus on my purpose. And in the past almost 3 years, coming February, my purpose has been to do the will of God. And for me, that's to do this culture shock right now. I got inspired probably a few weeks ago, and I started doing TikTok videos. And now I want to go on to YouTube for all you men. I don't care if I have 1 follower on this, or 100 followers or 1,000. It's about changing one person and hoping that person goes on. Whether you become a Christian, whether you become a different culture or a different religion, I don't care. I just want all the men to rise up that hear these words. Let's go keep improving ourselves every day. Don't let up. Whether you're at work and you're listening to this, whether you're at school, be the prime example. Whether you're a high schooler, whether you're in elementary, because I know everyone listens to something these days, whether they're not supposed to. Elementary, junior high, high school, college, business, or in a workforce. Let's go be the example of those areas. If you're not a person who has a male figure, father figure, then watch my videos and learn from them, comment on them, share them with other kids that you know that don't have fathers. I know a lot of fathers have up and left their families. I know there's bad men out there too. We're not all good men, but we can all change that. We can all get better. We can all become faithful. We can all become leaders, role models, whatever. We can all become the platinum standard. I'm not going to use the gold standard because you guys are the platinum standard. We can all get to that point because we can all be champions. I always say, to be a champion tomorrow, we got to start training to be a champion today. So let's make the right decisions. If you're watching things that you shouldn't be watching on your phone, get rid of it. If you're on social media and you're following a bunch of women that show cleavage and all these other things, maybe you can unfollow or unsubscribe. But try giving your wife a compliment. I'm not saying put her on a pedestal, because I heard so many stories that men have become SIMP, or they put their wife on a pedestal, and then when they start doing that, then their wives up and leave. I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying show her that she means a lot in your life. But if a woman leaves you, then I was always taught this by a couple of great men. I said, if a woman leaves you, then just let her go. Don't bash her. Just say it didn't work out, and keep proving or being on your purpose. And she might be the mother of your kids, because you don't want to bash the mother of your kids verbally. So just let her go and just focus on your grind, focus on your purpose, and keep focusing on your kids if you have kids. If not, just focus on life in general and being the best versions of yourselves as fathers, as men of God, or anything that your job title is. The best student, the best athlete, the best at whatever you can do. Be a champion in life. Be a champion in your family. Be a champion at heart. So, in January, I'm making YouTube videos already, uploading them. So, I'll always have content. And they will be starting on January the 1st. January the 1st at 5 p.m. 6 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And that will be 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 p.m. Central, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. So, if you want, you can share this podcast with men, so we can become better Bible study leaders, become better in the gym, where we're not constantly focused on hitting on chicks or girls or women, but focus on building our own bodies, where we're in line at a store and not checking out a woman, or at a restaurant. If you're married, let the women be drawn to you. If you're single, because you don't have to give her validations. Let her validate you. If you're doing all the right things, we can become better men. I want this to affect every man that listens to this. There are enough gullible guys that will let women lead their families and not become the man God put us here to be. Let's be better. Let's do better. I love you guys. You guys are champs. And keep doing your purpose and being the best man you can be, because you're all the best guys. If you like this content, then like, subscribe, share these with men, and let them know starting January the 1st, I will be putting out content. Then I will put out another video on January the 2nd at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and every Monday thereafter. But you can also watch my Financial Friday videos, because we can all improve in our finances. Whether you have $300 in your account or less, we can all build our finances as well. We want to improve in all areas of our life, not just one, not just the small things, but we can make big changes. After you watching the first video, then 365 days from there, if you follow those things and you put them in part of your life, then imagine the change that will happen in your life. 1% better every day. We can slight edge things. 1% better every day. So if you like this content, give me a thumbs up. Like I said, subscribe. Share these. And we can all do a culture shock on this world, on your country. I'm MR3, and this is the Best Guy Podcast.